everyone. It's Shane Conto, your Wasteland reviewer, and welcome to the Cinematic Wasteland here on the SPDM Crew Podcasting Network. And joining me, as always, each month are my pals. It's Adam,
Hello.
it's Luke,
Hello.
and this is where three men's love for film takes us through the history of cinema. And that was one of the smoothest intros we've done so far, and I'm real proud of myself.
I'm proud of
So,
us.
I'm proud of us, yes.
yeah. But diving in here, we're going to be talking about the year 1938. Because we have literally been doing this for 2 decades plus worth of episodes each month. So look at us. Look at us go. And
Hmm.
we're going to be talking about Russian propaganda film Alexander Nevsky. Because, in 1938, nothing tasted sweeter to Russians than killing Germans. So let's dive into our first segment of the show, which is some film history, where you learn a thing and maybe we make some unhinged comments. You never know. Let's start off with for the first time, a group of movie stars organized a committee, the Motion Pictures Democratic Committee, to support a political party. I don't know, guys. That sounds like communists to me. We're coming for
Hmm.
them.
Why should why cannot we just have separate, media and politics? Obviously, like,
We used to.
no, that's a joke.
Well, according to this, Adam, no, this is going back to 1938.
And
So
art
yes,
is inherently political anyway. So,
yep, they
Mm,
started
yes.
supporting the Democratic Party in the United States, which that has continued since
hmm
1938. So there you go.
I think it's worth pointing out this was different Democratic Party. They stood for different things back in the day.
Mm.
Yes, they indeed supported
As if you speak to any Republican today,
segregation.
yes, they will quickly remind you that's the party that started KKK. If you
And
speak
let's
to
just
any.
remind you all that those are the same people that started the KKK. Who
Mhm.
just changed party names, but whatever. This is
Mm.
not a political podcast, but such is
But it
life.
can be.
Now, during the filming of The Wizard of Oz, Buddy Ebsen, as the Tin Woodsman character, was hospitalized due to an allergic reaction to aluminum dust required for his costume. He was replaced by Jack Haley for the immortal role. Buddy Ebsen would be okay. He'd survive and become Jed Clampett. And the Barnaby Jones is the
Yeah.
PI show that he did too.
Oh,
So,
okay. Hmm.
did either of you know that story?
Nope.
No.
See, Luke and Adam did learn something new today. That is
I'm learning
actually
so
a
much.
it's a really interesting story because what the hell was I listening to? I was listening to some podcast where they really went into it, and he had been getting sick for weeks trying to
Mm.
stick it out, and it just the dust from it was affecting his lungs and stuff like that, and really screwed him up. And they
Hmm.
had to replace him in the film. So
Hmm.
crazy stories on the set of movies. It would be like they should probably have like doctors and safety folk on the sets of these things,
Yeah.
but
You would
What a
think.
strange concept.
strange concept. Producer Jed Wells, the Western musical The Terror of Tiny Town, with the tagline Little Guys with Big Guns.
Definitely not compensating for anything. Okay.
Oh my. Was the first film with all quote unquote, I'm putting quotes here, all midget cast, portraying cowboys and cowgirls. The amusing novelty cult film flopped miserably and had been rated as one of the worst films ever made.
So it's a
Wow.
double pun because they are midgets. I see. That's why they have big guns. Clever. Very clever.
They look big. No, doesn't it?
Ooh.
God, now all I'm thinking of is the most recent season of South Park and JD Vance being
The baby.
the little character from the little person character from Fantasy Island. He's like, Beth,
Hey,
you're
Um.
so
boss.
big in his little
Yep.
hands. Oh my God.
Yep.
Anyways, so African American leaders publicly called on the Hayes office to make roles other than doormen, maids, and porters available to blacks. And that's how that was written. I'm just saying
Oh,
that.
wow.
That is
But
sensible.
it's like, but what would happen to the roles for white people?
I know, right?
That's exactly what filmmakers were thinking in 1938.
Mm.
So, you know, it's sad that it took them going to like the standards code office to be like, hey, we need different roles than this.
I
So,
almost guarantee you somebody made like a counter argument, but who would be there to open those doors and serving those people? Like I almost guarantee you there was somebody in like 38 that made that, sounding smart. And it's like,
Yeah.
well, even in what 2012 when they're putting together Iron Man 3 and um when they were going to have a female villain in it and one of the execs like, but who's going to buy a toy of a girl villain?
Yeah.
did it happen? Really?
Mm.
Ah, I didn't even know that. Okay.
So that's why Rebecca Hall's character wasn't revealed to be the mastermind in that. And we got
Mm.
Aldrich Killian with his giant Mandarin tattoo and him being
Yep.
like, I'm the real Mandarin. I feel
Yep.
bad for Guy Pearce. That was a shit role for him.
It was. Yep.
And then Rebecca Hall got screwed over too. But you know who still lives on and is the best? Ben Kingsley as
Ben Kingsley.
Trevor Slattery.
Trevor, I'm an actor.
So why'd you do it? They promised like, well, 3 words, good drugs. So enough of that tangent. So the first appearance of an early prototype of Bugs Bunny, possibly the greatest cartoon character of all time, was as Porky Pig's antagonist in Warner's Porky's Hare Hunt. He would appear fully developed in his first starring role in Tex Avery's Oscar-nominated A Wild Hare. So those are big words saying Bugs Bunny might be the greatest of all time. He's going to have a fist fight
Yeah.
with Mickey Mouse.
See, I know, like legacy-wise, my favorite is nowhere near that, but Scooby-Doo, Scooby-Doo.
Really?
That's my nostalgia.
Yeah. I know. I never really watched a lot of Scooby-Doo. I mean, I would fight for Bugs Bunny being given that title.
No, like, look, obviously, yeah, but it's between Bugs, Mickey, those like legacy stuff, like Duffy, yeah, of
Mm.
course. But like as a child, who I think this is how I kind of picked up English bit better, like on my in my adult years, I
Mm.
watched shit ton of the proper good old-fashioned Scooby-Doo cartoons in English, not understanding a single shit about what was happening, but just following the story because I loved Scooby-Doo so much.
Hmm.
Luke, do you
Mm-hmm.
mean Scooby Dooby Doo?
You,
Where
where
are
are
you?
you? Oh no,
Some
like the
work
the
to do
proper,
now.
like from 70s, the nice like hand painted animation, just like like oh no, that was my jam. I genuinely I need to rewatch like every single episode of that show because I really want to like understand it now.
I will
Yeah.
state that Bugs Bunny is indeed one of the greatest of all time. I just wanted an
100%.
excuse to make a joke about him having a fist fight with Mickey Mouse. And I feel like Bugs would win. He's a wily one. I wouldn't bet against
Yes,
Absolutely.
Bugs.
and he's
If
smart.
Yes, if those two had to go toe to toe, Bugs Bunny's winning that fight.
Yes.
I'd
Mickey's the original.
put a
This is gonna
dollar
sound
on it.
horrible, but Mickey's the original cuck. He's real soft. He's just really he's like
Boy, Adam, what are you talking about?
he is though, right? He's he's a weak he's the Paul Dano of cartoon characters, the weakest in SAG.
Okay, Quentin Tarantino.
Oh, Adam, you
He's the
obviously don't
weakest cartoon
remember
character.
Mickey Mouse, the real Mickey Mouse from
No,
South Park.
South Park.
no,
That
don't.
that Mickey Mouse is diabolical. He starts
Yeah.
Seriously,
COVID.
Mickey's done nothing. Mickey's a mascot. He's not even a character.
You need to watch South Park season when he starts COVID. When he fucks Pangolin and it
Oh,
starts
really?
Because of that, he fucked
Andy,
I
you're
may
gonna
have,
go
Pangolin.
over
I
there and
actually
have
may have
sex with
seen
that
that.
pangolin.
He's high on cocaine. He fucks a pangolin, and basically this is how COVID happens and spreads it around.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I
Uh,
can't have recollections of maybe seeing that.
I do love South Park,
Yep.
but we do love animated medium here on the Cinematic Wasteland.
Mhm.
Action Comics #1 was published in June 1938, marking the debut of the comic book character Superman. Superman's first film appearance came a few years later. He debuted in an animated series of 17 Superman cartoons, beginning with Fleischer Studios' creation from 1941 to 42 in an agreement with DC Comics. Dave and Max Fleischer were responsible for the first 9 Superman cartoons, the pilot, and 8 subsequent shorts.
Mm.
Wow.
Hey, we're talking about Bugs Bunny. We're talking about Superman. What a year.
Mm.
So Superman is
Yeah.
88 years old. Wow. Okay. So, like in 12 years, it's gonna be both of them will be 100.
Oh,
Mhm.
dang.
Oh yeah. Hopefully they
Well,
will
I
not
will be
bottle it up.
too.
Hopefully they will not
and
bottle it up and actually release a movie on their 100th anniversary. Not like James Bond in the year 2007 when they didn't manage to release a James Bond movie.
Mm.
well, at this point, it
Mm.
might be a different Superman by then, depending on how this Warner Brothers sale goes.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
interesting too.
We'll all have to see, but we could even have a whole conversation about who's the GOAT comic book character, and I could give you solid evidence that I'm pretty sure the most
It's
beloved one at
Batman?
this point is Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. I was gonna
Because
say
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
that
Yeah.
Spider-Man trailer hit a
Yep.
billion watches.
Yep.
Dude, yeah, Spider-Man is popular, isn't he?
For me it's between Batman and Spider-Man, and I think Spider-Man would
Yeah,
take
yeah.
it because he is more relatable. Like I'm not a billionaire.
Wait, whoa. Luke, are
He's
you trying to
relatable.
say a teenager going through puberty-like
All right.
things is more relatable than a billionaire who is a vigilante by night whose parents died and he has a butler that does all the stuff for him and he has the
Yep.
world's greatest gadgets. He's the world's greatest detective and he's swole.
But also, like, yes,
He has
I'm
the
trying to
life you
say
want
that.
more. Batman has the
Yes,
life you want more.
but I
Yeah.
think because of the current climate we live in, we also know there's no such a thing as a good billionaire. Like, like they wouldn't do that.
No,
They
no,
have
no.
all the chances to save the world, and they were like, no, I will make
Well,
more money out of you.
I will I will bring up the point that my wife mentions every time we watch a Batman movie. Why does Bruce Wayne not simply use his money to solve like systematic
Well,
issues in the city of Gotham instead of
this is
being a
because,
vigilante at night?
but I think it's because of my big point pre-show is that money isn't real. So that it's theoretical. It's not actual. They don't actually have money to go and spend. They don't actually have billions of
No,
dollars.
but
Their
They
money's in
realistically,
the
borrow
yeah.
banana
against.
stand, Adam. It's
So
all in the
they,
banana stand.
but it's all theoretical. But because they borrow against
Yes,
potential,
yes. No,
and
realistically, I
that's
know,
that's
I
how they
know,
have money. Yeah, there's no
I know.
actual
They live off
billions.
credit cards. They live off
Yeah,
credit cards
yeah,
because it's
But
more
yes,
tax efficient.
that
yeah.
Batmobile's real
That is
in
true.
context.
That is
That's
Ooh,
very true.
tangible and it's pretty darn cool.
Then
absolutely.
that black
The Tim
Lamborghini
Burton.
Christian Bale is driving around in a Dark Knight trilogy that actually exists. I
Uh,
think it's only been made like only like a double digit numbers of that car. It
Wild.
looks fucking cool.
Is that the
yeah.
one that gets crashed
Yes,
into that
yes.
Christopher Nolan totally destroyed that actual car because it's Christopher Nolan?
Well, he actually destroyed one
He
of
wasn't
two
paying for it.
IMAX cameras on that movie. No, was it that movie or
Well,
was it
Oh,
something?
really?
well, he destroyed an antique plane on Dunkirk because it sank. They couldn't
Oh,
salvage it.
Oh shit!
oh.
So
Kurt Russell
Christopher
destroyed an
Nolan's
antique guitar.
Chri- Christopher Nolan's just going around like this because
Yeah.
he's doing it for us. And
But
you
then,
all couldn't
Yes.
see me flipping the bird uh
Art is priceless.
flippantly. So there
but
we
then,
go.
but then, what's worse, antique playing or that guitar in Django? Not Django, in Hateful Eight.
Hateful Eight. Yeah.
I think the
Don't
sum of
know.
all of the things that Christopher Nolan has destroyed in movies
Mm.
greatly outweighs the one guitar that Kurt Russell broke because he didn't know it was an actual antique
Mm.
guitar. Um, but end of moral of the story: Superman is not the god. So there we
I
go.
was gonna say, how did you
Enjoy
get
that
there?
one.
That was great.
Um, all
This
the
is a fun
major movie
episode.
studios, the Big Five, were sued in 1938 by the U.S. Department of Justice. Justice. In the government's antitrust lawsuit against unfair trade practices, claiming the studios monopolized both the production and distribution of motion pictures. Eventually,
Oh,
the
this is
case reached
hilarious.
the U.S. Supreme Court 10 years later in a decision against the movie studios, and then Trump reversed it's all, and now studios can own theaters again.
Hmm.
Do you love monopolies?
Ooh.
Do you love trusts?
Sure do.
So I think the first one was Sony bought Alamo Drafthouse, which
Hmm.
might be the only
Oh
movie
yeah.
cred that Sony Studios actually has.
Okay.
Oh, that's
I'm
harsh.
throwing
Sony.
shade at Sony because
Yeah,
I don't
absolutely.
trust them.
Yeah.
They're the studio I trust least
Pretty much.
with
Really.
making movies.
Hmm.
I guess if you're not counting Netflix. Um,
Mm.
out of the major studios, it's definitely Sony. But
Hmm.
no,
Interesting.
well, look how history has unwritten itself. Because yes, they did not want vertical integration in the movie industry, which is why they split that up. So they didn't discriminate about what films would actually get to the audiences. And then, whatever. Like that wasn't important.
The
Whatever.
Wild West now.
Yeah. And, certain politicians not going to do anything about this Warner Brothers sale,
Of
especially
course
when
not.
it goes to one of his buddies and one of his other buddies and his Saudi buddies.
Absolutely.
As long as he gets a
No,
cut,
no,
Shane, it's all good.
you absolutely get kickbacks.
But we won't see it because money isn't real, right, Adam?
Correct.
Good way of
So
bringing us back, Shane. That's
Your
it. See,
numbers
this is
on the
why you're a
screen.
host. This is why you're a host.
Yeah.
that's why I drive this
Yes, ship.
um crazy ass ship going 120 down a highway. So versatile director Howard Hawks' greatest screwball comedy, Bringing Up Baby, opened. It had often been considered in as the definitive screwball film and one of the funniest, wackiest, and most inspired films of all time. However, at the time of its release, it failed miserably at the box office after 2 weeks in theaters and was soon forgotten until it was revived years later. The film was Katharine Hepburn's only screwball comedy role and her final film for RKO, since she has been infamously labeled a box office poison through most of the 30s. Well, isn't
Wow.
that interesting? Context.
Hmm.
Mm. I adore Bringing Up Baby. I think it's one of the greatest movies ever made. Love it.
I need to rewatch it because I only watched it once and I thought it was very good. I didn't understand why people love it, so I obviously have missed
Mm.
something. Oh, very nice.
Showing
Yeah,
off
I have the
my
same one.
lovely Criterion, which
Yeah.
is what I miss from romantic comedies. Like every romantic comedy now is the same damn formula. I want a
Hmm.
movie where a rich heiress has a large jungle cat randomly,
Mm.
and she pulls a paleontologist into it who's just a nerd with glasses, but really is Cary Grant. So how much of a nerd could he possibly be? See, and
It's
they go on
amazing that movie
shenanigans.
has. It's amazing though that Bring Out Baby hasn't been remade. It's
What?
staggering.
I
So
mean,
a
technically,
little bit of it is in What's Up, Doc, because I'm
hmm
pretty sure
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Ryan O'Neal's
But
character is literally just Cary Grant's character, except he's a geologist, right? Instead of a
yes,
paleontologist.
yeah, yeah,
Rocks.
yeah. There's
but
no. I
technically,
mean, like a straight remake. I mean,
mhm,
there's lots of homages and plot
What about a
devices
gay
that are used,
remake?
but
heated rivalry the
what?
movie.
Adam, you said a straight remake. Why not make a gay
Oh,
remake?
gotcha.
Bisexual. Bi remake.
Mm. Well,
Oof.
Disney would make
A
Netflix would
thruple.
absolutely make it gay.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
It's a thruple. It's two heiresses with two different jungle cats this time, and one paleontologist.
I can't.
Mm.
Sorry. There's just can't talk about lesbians and cats without getting me in trouble, Shane.
I was already making up a like title for it too in my head. I'm like,
Oh
oh,
wow.
See,
I
we're
did
gonna
well.
self-finance this, bringing up babies remake.
yep.
There we go. Um, and then Luke can come up with a subtitle that's some kind of pussy pun, right? Um,
Obvious, yes.
there we go. The first and only on-screen kiss between the memorable dancing, singing partnership of Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers was in their eighth film,
Wow.
Carefree.
They
That's a
Hair
so they
lot,
free.
only
lot of
kissed
edging.
once. They only kissed once in their like all the like 15 films they made together. Really?
Can you
Hmm.
imagine how much sexual tension built up in those first seven films?
That's what we call yearning, Shane. That's the.
It's the
We yearn
Yes.
for the mines.
We yearn or for Wuthering Heights, Shane. The yearning. If Emerald Fennel showed us anything this year, is the yearning.
The yearning for
Yes.
sure.
I need to watch
But
that. I need to watch Wuthering Heights.
it's something.
It's
Something for sure.
definitely something.
It wasn't Wuthering Heights, but it was something.
That's why the title is in quotations on many
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, yeah.
websites.
She
Yeah,
said it was an interpretation, and I'm like, well,
yeah.
technically all adaptations are, so
See, no, no. Did you hear her on a DGA podcast?
Oh, I heard
So
her.
it's not even that. It's she said this is my memory as I wanted to make a movie as my 14-year-old what it was reading the book what my
I guess a
14-year-old
horny
self.
14
Yes,
year old girl.
yes. That's why she said it's an like I know this is not the most faithful adaptation of the story because this is my memory of when I was like 13, 14 reading the book
Mm,
for the first time and I'm like
mm,
this makes a lot of sense. That's
mm.
Still pisses
yes.
off people, Luke. So
Yeah, but fingering.
Yeah.
she was really giving
Spoilers.
it to that dough.
Mhm.
But to be fair, that was in the trailer too.
Is
So
it? Does it
Yes.
have some like proper gross outs like Saltburn?
no,
No.
Okay.
it
No.
never gets nowhere near that far.
But
Nor
see,
Okay.
does it have murder on the dance floor in it. So that
no.
it
I
has
was
that
listening.
going against
But
it
I heard
too.
that song
but
today.
but it's the entire soundtrack is Charlie XCX and it's so
Mm.
subtle. Like there's a scene where she's like pondering her life, feeling like a prisoner, and then you can hear Charlie XCX song, I'm a prisoner, I'm a prisoner. And I'm like, well, thank you. This is very subtle.
Oh wow, nothing like beating you over the head with it.
Yeah, literally, like some scenes are like,
Mm.
do you get it? Do you get it?
Yeah, right.
We should just do Wuthering Heights, the Laurence Olivier,
Ooh.
for this, but we didn't vote for it. So, director and narrator Orson Welles. 60-minute adaptation of H.G. Wells's novel The War of the Worlds
Mhm.
was broadcast on CBS Radio Network on October 30th, 1938. The show was performed for Wells's radio drama anthology series Mercury Theater on the Air. Its airing caused a mass panic in various parts of the United States, including, most importantly, New Jersey. In when listeners believed a real Martian alien invasion was occurring. The event also brought Orson Welles publicity and notoriety, allowing him to become the filmmaker with his first feature film, Citizen Kane.
So is
Yes,
That's
this the
amazing.
first example of like fake news actually working and spreading, like a wildfire?
we could all blame Orson Welles.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it's all
It
his
might have
fault.
been this. It might have been the switch for governments and media to say we can manipulate these people really easily.
I'm sure that
No.
was a turning point for a lot of politicians being like,
Mm-hmm.
Mm. Hmm.
as I'm stroking my beard that you all can't
COVID.
see.
COVID was very much the same. They've learnt lessons, the wrong lessons from that too. But
Ooh.
it's not a political podcast, as we say.
But
We
we
don't do that
sure
type of
still
shit
bring up
around
a lot
here.
of stuff about it. Um,
Yeah.
Roy Rogers made his starring film debut in Republic Studios' B Western Under Western Stars. How would we know it's a Western if they didn't put it in the title?
Correct.
After which he became popularly known as the King of the Cowboys, replacing Gene Autry. Singing Cowboy Roy's song in the film Dust was nominated as original song written by Johnny Marvin by the Academy Award, but the Academy Award went to Thanks for the Memories in the Big Broadcast of 1938.
Hmm.
Isn't Thanks for the Memories is that a
All Out Boy
Fallout
song.
Yeah. I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
But no,
That's
I
right.
do I don't know if I've ever seen a Roy Rogers Western,
No.
but I
I don't
have
think
had
so
his
too.
chicken.
Does he
Is
have
that Kenny
chickens?
Rogers chicken? Doesn't Kenny Rogers have chicken?
I'm pretty
Or is
sure
that
Kenny
just
Rogers is
Seinfeld?
the gambler. I don't know. Well, no, Roy Rogers, there's Roy Rogers chicken restaurants in the United States at least.
But
Hmm.
there's a Seinfeld episode devoted to Kenny Rogers chicken. Is that just a piss
That's
take of
probably a
Roy
spoof.
Rogers?
I think that's
Right.
probably a spoof
I
of
I
Roy
legit thought
Rogers.
Kenny Rogers had chicken. This is,
Hmm.
I should know better.
Well, in that moment, Jerry Seinfeld and Larry David led you astray, Adam. But if you come to New
And they'll do it
Jersey, I
again.
know where there's a Roy Rogers chicken and we can get some. So there you
Oh,
go.
if I go to America, Popeyes is the first chicken I'm trying.
Oh, I'm down for Popeyes.
Popeyes
Mm.
is great. We have it here.
Oh,
It's
don't.
my favorite, like
Do
the
You
fast
you?
better
food.
you better get something to drink. Those biscuits, though,
Those biscuits here are tender as fuck, though. Mm.
they're so good, but
Yeah,
they
they
will
I'm so
dry you.
jealous.
They'll dry your ass out.
are.
Better have something to drink. Um, Now I'm hungry, but a series of
Mm.
28 films over a period of 12 years based on Chick Young's popular comic strip Blondie made its debut with the first film, you guessed it, Blondie. The situation comedy finds star Penny Singleton as Blondie Bernstead and Arthur Lake as bumbling husband Dagwood, plus their 5-year-old son Alexander, aka Baby Dumpling, played by Larry Sims. The last film in the series was Blondie's Hero from 1950. The three major directors of the films included Frank Schreier, Abby Berlin, and Edward Burns.
Mm.
I don't know if I know this Blondie,
Nope.
No.
but
I know the
I
singing
will.
one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get you.
One way or another.
There we go. So next
We
up,
do a remarkable amount of singing in this show as well.
look at
For
us.
three guys that cannot sing for shit. No offense to anybody. No offense to anybody.
We're not professionals, maybe at
Correct.
anything. But
But we play
we
one
do our
on
best.
radio.
Yes.
We play we play the professionals on podcasts.
Correct.
Russian director Sergei Eisenstein directed the epic film Alexander Nevsky, a nationalistic film that presented the medieval story of 13th century Russian prince Alexander Nevsky, played by Nikolai Cherkasov, in enhanced with a score by Sergei Prokofiev. The film's most memorable battle scene was on the ice that started to crack at frozen Lake Peipus in 1242 between the invading barbaric Teutonic Knights and the Russian army, both wielding spears and axes. We'll talk about this more because this is our
Hmm.
movie for this episode. So we'll save it. Three more. MGM loaned actor Clark Gable to David O. Susnick for the production of Gone with the Wind for the most famous role as Rhett Butler in exchange for the film distribution rights and one half of the profits. Holy shit.
Damn.
Well, boy, did they make out. Um,
Hmm.
Further reduced by Lowe's Inc.'s 15% interest and a requirement to pay Gable's $4,500 per week salary and 1/3 of Gable's $50,000 loan out bonus.
Wow.
Wow.
A lot of people made
That's
some
a lot
money
of
off of
money.
that movie.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh my. Oh, and we're gonna pour one out because this is our in memoriam.
Okay.
Innovative and pioneering French filmmaker Georges Méliès died at the age of 76 in Paris, France. He was noted for using magical special effects in his early films, including the stop trick or substitution effect used to make things seemingly disappear. He is most famous for Le Voyage dans la Lune, A Trip to the Moon.
Mm,
I think by the time you both came onto this show, I had gotten through all of my
yes.
Millier stuff,
Yeah.
but I talked a lot about it in the
Oh, I
early
know.
episodes of the Cinematic Wasteland.
Yep.
And lastly, Spencer Tracy won his second Best Actor Oscar in early 1939. He had won for his 1937 film as a Portuguese fisherman, Manuel, and Captain's Courageous. And then in 1938 for Boys Town, which I'm sure he played a white person this time. Well, I guess technically Portuguese people are also white, as I learned a couple of years ago. They're still European. So,
Sure are.
well, this
I-
time for playing a not
They're
spicy
cool.
white.
Not
This
spicy,
one's
Because,
so
correct.
spicy. That's the word.
yep, spicy whites, all those Mediterraneans,
Yes.
including my ancestors. So, them Italians. This was the first time that an actor had won the Oscar in consecutive years. Bada boom. That
Oh,
is the
actor, yeah, I guess they are gendering it. Okay, because we talked about an actress who won back to back previously. But yeah, this is the first actor, yeah.
Luke. We care about men on this podcast. The Academy cares about men. So, but no, indeed, this was the first Best Actor
Yeah.
back-to-back
Mhm.
win for Spencer Tracy, who is one of the most prolific of actors. Not a so what was it now? Because Sean Penn just won his third this year,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So now he's up there with
I
Katharine
heard that on a
Hepburn,
podcast today.
Meryl Streep, and
Hmm.
all of those famous actors who have won a lot, a lot.
A lot.
So,
Yep.
I heard someone talking about that on a podcast today.
I know, right?
well, next up we have some box office. So let's figure out what movies made the moolah. Um, just running down the list here, we have Marie Antoinette made $1.633 million. Love Finds Andy Hardy made 1.637. The Adventures of Robin Hood made just shy of $2 million with 1.928. So, Robin Hood, that would have been a fun one to chat about.
Yep.
In Old Chicago, made slightly above with 1.964, and slightly above 2 million was Sweethearts with 2,017,000. You can't take it with you. Apparently not, but you can make $2.182 million. So there you go, Columbia Pictures. Test Pilot for MGM made 2.431. Alexander's Ragtime Band made $2.63 million. And now the two big winners of 1938, we have Boys Town, which we just discussed, won Best Actor for Spencer Tracy, made 2.82 million. But the big winner was House of Mouse. It was Walt Disney and Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, which made
Mm,
just under $4 million with 3.996 million. Now,
damn.
Wow.
I will state this came from Wikipedia, so take that with a grain of salt, and this is from 1938. So we're still, I think, a couple of decades away from even Box Office Mojo
Hmm.
having really consistent box office data. But who's surprised? Kids movie makes a lot of money.
Yep.
Yep.
As this episode is going to release the week that Super Mario Galaxy comes out and is definitely going to make $1 billion.
And will probably
Yeah.
make all the money. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Especially after they're teasing us all of us millennials who grew up playing all these, I guess, Gen Xers and millennials who played a lot of Mario because they just announced Star Fox is going to be in this, and I'm like, oh my god!
And
And
did you? Yes.
Glenn Powell is Star Fox.
I loved how Rotten Tomatoes reported it as Glenn Powell was cast as, Star Fox. I was like, and somebody replied, the movie is coming out in 4 days. No, he wasn't just cast. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And they even had a cast reveal, which was actually kind of funny.
Hmm.
The little video. But most importantly, what does this mean? We're getting a Super Smash Bros. Movie 100%, and I've been waiting for this moment. Despite how middling I thought the first Super Mario Brothers animated movie was, I don't care. I'm in for it. Illumination has it. They just know how to, make movies just good enough to make a ton of money.
Yeah, yeah, yep.
Broad comedy.
Um, that's what
Colorful.
Illumination does. And those minions, I would not be surprised if a minion shows up in the Smash Bros. Movie.
100%. You
Oh,
know
wow,
it's gonna
man.
happen. Like, yeah.
Now, continue our conversation about prestige cinema from Illumination to the Academy Awards. So let's talk about our nominees for some of the major categories from this year. We did just talk about this, but let's start with Best Actor. So we have Leslie Howard for Pygmalion, Robert Donat for The Citadel, James Cagney for Angels with Dirty Faces, Charles Boyer for Algiers, and winner Spencer Tracy for Boys Town. I'll admit, haven't watched any of these yet.
Same. Zero.
Me either.
Well, on to the next one. So we have Basil Rathbone, one of Matt Berry's favorite actors who wanted to meet at the Academy
Yes.
Awards. In If I Were King, Robert Morley for Marie Antoinette, Jean Lockhart for Algiers, John Garfield for Four Daughters, and winner, Walter Brennan for Kentucky, who actually won 3 Academy Awards for Best Supporting Actor, if I'm
Oh
not
yeah.
mistaken.
Oh
So
yeah.
he's like, oh yeah, gee, he's that guy who
He
has that
is.
very specific voice and is in Red River,
Hmm.
with John Wayne.
Okay.
So I believe this was his first win. So we will get to his other 2 in the coming months. Best Actress, Margaret Sullivan for Three Comrades, Norma Shearer for Marie Antoinette, Wendy Hiller for Pygmalion, Faye Bainter for White Banners, and not Bette Midler, it's Betty Davis for Jezebel. I'm never gonna let that running joke gag go.
Yep.
Neither's Adam.
No, no.
So it's
Um,
spanning the SPDM crew sphere onto other
it's in the
podcasts.
Shaniverse now. It's in the Shaniverse. I have seen Jezebel out of these films.
Okay.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
Adam on the board. Because no, I still haven't seen any of these. And
Same.
usually that's my job for seeing some of them.
I'm surprised because usually it's like, oh, I've only seen 4 out of 5. And I'm like, okay.
Mm.
I have seen 9 films from this year, but none of them have been referenced yet for these Academy Awards.
Hmm.
Next up, we have actress in a supporting role. Melissa Corjos for The Great Waltz, and I definitely didn't say that right. Spring Byington, You Can't Take It With You. Billy Burke for Merrily We Live. Beulah Bondi for Of Human Hearts, and winner Faye Bainter for Jezebel for supporting actress. So
Bro.
she was nominated for supporting and lead 2 different films.
I can also
They
now be.
are.
Oh,
Sorry. No, you go, Luke.
I was just gonna say now I'm on board because I actually have watched You Can Take It With You, which is a Frank Capra movie,
Ah,
and
yes.
as he would be, be suspicious of, it's very sweet.
Mm.
What?
It is very
What?
sweet. And again, it's about excuse me, as the title suggests, it's about rich people like, oh yeah, I have too much money. I should be helping people with those money.
No. I'm keen.
Yeah.
If only
I need to see.
more rich people would think about
It's a
that
peak
today.
fantasy, Shane. It's a peak fantasy, yes.
There you go. Directing,
Oh,
Michael Curtis for Four Daughters, King Vidor for The Citadel, Norman Grog for Boys Town, Michael Curtis for Angels with Dirty Faces. He got nominated twice, lost twice. Winner Frank Capra for You Can't Take It With You.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So there you go. That sweetness won. That rich people story won. There you go.
Yes.
Now,
voted by
writing,
rich people. Funny enough.
voted by rich people. Who'd have
Look at
think
us.
it?
We are so nice. Look at us.
Yes.
Patting themselves on the back.
They
Look at
they
us.
relate they related to it, so yeah.
There you go. Now, next up for writing, we have Robert Riskin for You Can't Take It With You, Julius J. Epstein, and Lenore Coffey for Four Daughters. Maybe not related. Hopefully not related.
Hopefully not.
Ian Dalrymple, Frank Weed, and Elizabeth Hill for The Citadel. John Meechan and Dory Shari for Boys Town, and winners George Bernard Shaw, W.P. Lipscomb, and Cecil Lewis and Ian Dalrymple for Pygmalion. Dalrymple had 2 nominations, but he did win one of them, so good for
Nice.
Ian. And our Best Picture nominees are, and we'll see how many of these each of us have seen. We have Test Pilot, Pygmalion, Jezebel, Grand Illusion, Four Daughters, The Citadel, Boys Town, Alexander's Ragtime Band, The Adventures of Robin Hood, and winner, You Can't Take It With You.
So I only seen the winner.
There you go. Luke batting 1,000. How about you, Adam? How many of them have you seen?
Out of those, no, just Jezebel.
At the end of the day, I did come out on top as I've seen Grand Illusion and The Adventures of Robin Hood. So I've seen 2, but Luke's the
Nice.
real winner because his won Best Picture. But that's not the Best Picture that matters. The Best Picture that
No.
matters is the Cinematic Wasteland Award for Best Picture. So, Adam, what are your top 3 and what's your winner?
So I've seen 6 from 38. My top 3, I'll say in order: Holiday, Katharine Hepburn and Cary Grant. Movie's amazing. Then I have The Lady Vanishes, Hitchcock's classic, and Bringing Up Baby. I've seen Bringing Up Baby 3 times, and I think I've been on one of your shows before. The first time I ever watched that, I nearly died twice from laughing so hard. Like I nearly passed out a couple of times. It's loved it.
How about you, Luke?
So I've seen 6 movies from this year, and my top 3 would be The Lady Vanishes, You Can Take It With You, and my number 1 is a movie nobody's heard of because you're not Czech. There's this old black and white movie called Ducháček Will Fix It, and it's basically this slapstick comedy about so we have a king of comedian back in Czechoslovakia, and he plays this like assistant to this lawyer, and he's basically getting himself into problems, but he's also solving problems. It's about a rich family that wants to marry, like, and they, like, there's a money involved, and there's, like, it's a very funny movie. It's like a gag a minute. It's a joke a minute. It's a great movie. But obviously, unless you're from Czech Republic or Slovakia, you've never seen it. So that would be my number 1.
There you
Fair
go.
enough.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
What about you, Shane?
Czech's getting a shout out just like they did in the new Martin McDonagh trailer, if people have
Mhm.
seen it.
No.
Czechoslovakia gets mentioned.
Oh,
Yes,
really?
it does.
It does
Yeah.
indeed, because
John Malkovich.
Malkovich is giving Sam Rockwell shit, and he's like, Sam Rockwell's like, name one country you've killed somebody in that I can't spell. He's like, Czechoslovakia. And he's like, you've never killed anybody in Czechoslovakia. You just know I can't spell it. And I'm like, damn. I'm excited for that movie because I love Martin McDonagh. But
Yes.
I have seen 9 films in 1938, and my top 3 are: number 3, Bringing Up Baby; number 2, The Adventures of Robin Hood; but number 1 is The Lady Vanishes. I love that shit.
It's great, isn't it?
It's such a great film.
On average, isn't that our number 1? Because that's the only movie that was in all 3 of our top 3s.
So
Yep.
our Best Picture winner for the Cinematic Wasteland Award for Best Picture is Hitchcock's The Lady Vanishes.
It's a great movie.
More love than the
I don't hate
actual
it.
Academy Awards.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
there you go.
I don't hate it.
Mhm.
It's a good choice.
I would like to shout out one other film that was directed by Orson Welles from 1938. That's 66 minutes, called Too Much Johnson. And I'm just going to leave that out there.
That's what she said. What the hell?
That's what she said. Before we get into Alexander Nevsky, we have one last segment, which is most anticipated films to check out from 1938. So, Adam, what films are you most excited to check out that you haven't seen yet?
I had four. So Angels with Dirty Faces, 100%. You can't take it with you because Frank Capra and Best Picture. I need to want to see all of the Best Pictures. Vivacious Lady, which is Ginger Rogers and Jimmy Stewart film. I think directed by someone famous. Anyway, and The Citadel, the Robert Donat film. Looks
Mm,
pretty good as well because that's King Vidor. So I wouldn't mind watching some more King Vidor films.
yes.
Yeah. How about you, Luke?
Luke.
So I'm more basic because I still haven't seen The Adventures of Robin Hood, and I really want to. So there's a movie called Holiday with Katharine Hepburn and Cary Grant, and yeah, like Jezebel would also be there. So mines are like pretty basic choices.
Mine are all Academy
Holiday is really
Award
good.
nominees that I haven't
Hmm.
checked out yet. So Boys Town, The Citadel, and Angels with Dirty Faces. I guess I'll throw up You Can't Take It With You as well because
It's a sweet
that
movie.
one Best Picture.
It is a very sweet movie.
Now, let's talk some Russian propaganda. And it is from
Duh.
obviously from 1938. It's Alexander Nevsky, and this is an hour and 52-minute film. The story of how a great Russian prince led a ragtag army to battle an invading force of Teutonic knights. And this is indeed directed by Sergei Eisenstein and Dmitry Vasilyev. And this film is, I feel like, Ridley Scott watched this movie
100%.
at
Yes,
some
yes,
point,
I thought the
like
same. Yep.
100%. But let's go around and give our general thoughts. Adam, what are your general thoughts on Alexander Nevsky?
Well, my first note is that I don't do not endorse throwing of babies in a fire. That was
I
the
was
whole
wondering how
genocide.
long it would
Yep.
take for us to bring up babies burning on bonfires, and immediately that's the
That
answer.
was wild. That whole genocide scene is wild. It's so brutal. But my general thoughts for this movie is that I see its importance. I can understand its storytelling, and it's 100% Russian propaganda. It's all about how great are we. Strangely enough, a year before they start getting, invaded, did this movie bring it on? And Germans like, hold my beer. Is that what they did? Anyway,
And then the
I
Russians are
couldn't
like,
get
hold
into it.
my
So,
ice.
Yep.
And then the Germans are like, well, we're
yeah,
not winning.
yeah. I just couldn't get into it. It was actually found it really boring. I just there's just nothing I could latch onto personally to get into this. I can definitely see some greatness in there, but it wasn't storytelling and everything wise. I just wasn't for me.
Mhm.
What about you, Luke?
I thought it was okay. Like I think I'm slightly higher on it than you, Adam. I
Mm,
thought the movie had a lot of interesting. It felt like it's a mix of, oh, this is how we used to do movies, and this is how we will do movies from now on. And it's this weird blend of the old-fashioned, like, hey, some of the scenes reminded me of like movies from like 1920s and 10s, right? What I watched, the limited amount
yeah.
of movies I watched from that era. So like I'm not an expert by any means, but like some of those and some of the techniques are like, oh, this is like Joan of Arc, these kind of like angles and like that.
Mm,
I'm like, that really reminds me like, oh, we're kind of going backwards. But then there's like scope and some of the other shots and color
mm,
in this black and white movie, like how the black stands out. Like, there's this figure all in black. It just like stands out. I was like, damn, this is interesting. So I was also a bit bored. So that's why I'm just saying
mm,
it's okay. Like it's not
mm.
definitely not my favorite by far from what we watched for this podcast. But I think there's some things to be appreciated, not just burning kids. Like that was just a that was just like a we. I was like, oh, this is why Germans are. This is why they need to battle Germans. I see. Mm.
Mm.
What about you, Shane?
So I'm definitely the highest on this.
Mm.
And I'll admit, plot wise, like, this really is just like, well, Prince needs to lead army against Germans, right?
But when
Yeah,
he
yeah.
feels like it, but when he feels like it, because the movie is like, oh, we need to do this, and he's like, no, we're not doing this. Then the genocide happens, like, I guess we're doing this now then.
So, like,
Yeah.
I'll admit, narratively, this is
Mhm,
not the richest of films.
mhm,
Mm,
And I feel like you watch this movie for the experience, and it's very obviously propaganda. So
mhm.
it's very clear that this is a nationalistic like
Yeah.
prop up of Russia. But damn, from a filmmaking standpoint, I ate this shit up
mhm.
because one of my favorite films from early cinema is Joan of Arc, The Passion
Yep,
of Joan of Arc, and
Mm.
yep.
the aura farming on some of these shots, like
Yeah.
that one shot of the horned,
Yep.
helmeted guy. I'm just like, this is some
Mm.
of the coolest looking stuff I've seen in a movie,
Hmm.
and you can definitely tell like I wouldn't be surprised. Not only has Ridley Scott seen this, but a whole bunch of people who started at A24 making
Mhm.
movies. Like, there's just this striking imagery that's very haunting in this movie that
Yes.
I feel like there's some Green Knight in here. There's definitely some of this in Eggers
No,
movies and stuff like that
100%.
as well.
Yeah.
So like there's a lot of that kind of stuff that I think's real. This movie's cool from from a visual standpoint. And I saw your letterbox review, Luke, about like how the action was shot. I thought the action was really thrilling and
Okay.
exciting and big in scale. And honestly, this is exactly how Ridley Scott does a lot of his stuff. Except there's definitely some modernization to what
Mhm,
Ridley Scott's brought to it and a brutality that I don't think you could capture in this era of filmmaking with sound
mhm,
and stuff like that. But I'm not going to say that like I was moved by any of the performances. I'm not going to say that
Yeah.
any of these actors are like I think they casted well and made facial hair well. Um for a lot of these folks, some of them like just stood out visually. And
mhm.
Mm.
also, that genocide scene was one of the most unnerving things I've watched in a movie. I'm just like, oh,
Yeah.
they're just yeeting babies
Yeah.
onto,
Yeah.
onto this. I was watching this with Jess, and I just turned to her. I'm like, did that just happen? Like,
And
Yeah.
there's a
it,
second one.
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. Do you
like
like
what
that
the
one? Here's
shit?
another. Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
quick, guys, the fire is dying. And me, another baby.
Put another baby on. Yeah. Holy shit.
Well,
That was brutal,
Yeah.
well,
especially for the
this is
time,
officially
right?
the moment we're all going to hell. But it's been
Yeah.
nice. It's nice having you guys as friends and
Well,
in
We're gonna
life.
be roasting you.
absolutely. We'll be together talking about
Yeah.
this again.
We'll be talking about how I definitely bought this on Criterion.
Mm.
Really?
Once I find one, because this is part of a Eisenstein collection, but it's out of
Yes.
print.
Ah, right.
Mm-hmm.
So if I could find it used somewhere, that would be pretty cool. Or they could upgrade this to 4K. Can you imagine? Oh my God, this would look excellent on 4K.
And to be honest, I think I mentioned like it
Oh,
technically, like in my letterbox
Yeah,
review, technically this movie is kind of flawless. Like technically, like the shots, the steady
that's
cam.
Eisenstein.
Yeah,
yeah.
what I meant about the battle scenes, like
The
I
editing.
understand, but if you focus, like this is my nitpick because like I was a bit bored, and when you're bored, you focus on details, and when you see the battle sequences that they last forever. And you see actually
Yes.
how nobody's actually fighting, and they just like clashing, like, and it looks like a LARPing session. And I know, look, I understand the 1938. I understand, like,
Yeah.
but like at the same time,
You
like
can see the
even
seams.
like you can see how like like when it's hard for like when you're not in a moment, it's hard for me to like, hey, this is very
Ignore
cool.
it. Oh,
Yeah,
Mm.
exactly. Like if I was in a moment, if I was more in a because like okay, am I dumb? Or well, I am, but also, uh, Alexander Nevsky, the character, do we actually see him fighting?
I don't know.
Because like for a movie that's
Towards
called
the end?
Alexander fucking Nevsky,
Yeah.
shows up in the beginning where he says, "No, I'm not gonna fight for you. We need to like keep peace and shit." Then the genocide happens. Like, Oh well, I guess I will fight and assemble all the Russians. Cool. Then we see battle sequences for like Yongs. Then we see them mostly the two guys that are kind of like a comedic character like levels of like, hey, who's gonna marry this one girl? It's either you or you. We see them a lot, and then Alexander Nevsky shows up at the end as this kind of a judge and like, well, I saved you all. Now we can judge these people. And I'm like, has he actually participated in that battle? Because if so, I've missed it.
He was a leader.
Well,
But yeah, no,
well,
I think you're right. I don't remember him fighting either.
and for a
But it
movie
was
called
his
Alexander Nevsky, he's not
yeah.
there a lot.
He
So
does
I'm like,
remarkably fuck all.
and it's the thing, like, as not, and so for Russians, and it's my ultimate point, I think, for Russians, yeah, like you probably heard of him like from school, from Russian history and all that.
Mm,
Cool,
mm.
cool, cool, cool. But for a movie experience, I don't know who he was. Okay, he was a prince. Cool. What else has he done? Like, I don't know. Actually, when the movie's over, I'm like, so there was a prince called Alexander Nevsky that led Russians. That's it.
That's what he did,
I mean,
and that's
yeah,
all
Yeah.
but
that matters.
I mean, yeah, but why did he like just because he was a prince had he this like he had this big following, I guess? Because like he wasn't that charismatic. Like he was like a
It was
peak
his
Russian.
facial hair.
Like he was a peak Russian, like like this is like a peak Russian male. Yes. Uh
Are
so
you saying that this was nationalistic propaganda for the ideal Russian?
well apparently so the director refused to use it as a propaganda at first, but when the Russia got attacked, this movie apparently got brought back
Yeah.
in the cinemas like in the 40s, 41 to rile up the troops.
Right. Yep.
So this was only conveniently about them
Yes,
fighting Germans.
yes, yes. Apparently, the director was against using it as a propaganda.
Okay.
Okay,
I know, right?
I don't
Mm.
believe him, but whatever.
Mm.
Um, I was not in Sergei Eisenstein's brain,
hmm
but the Germans were. They
hmm
obviously were because they showed up
Mm.
here and they were.
Well, Stalin was very appreciative of this movie. Apparently, after like a projection
Was.
for Stalin, he was like, well, he turned to the director after the movie was over, and he's like, "Well, you are a good comrade after all," and like pat
Ah.
him on the back, and I'm like, "All right,
Mm.
Stalin approves."
That's all Sergei Eisenstein wanted was approval from Daddy Stalin.
I mean, like not much is
Probably just not to
wanted,
be
but like
shot.
yeah, exactly, like avoiding like the gulag.
Yeah, they call that brown nosing where I come from. Like he's just
Yeah,
kissing up to the boss.
in a Soviet Russia, we call it survival.
Yeah. Yeah, fair.
Oh man.
I know.
I,
Oh
I really
man.
liked your point, Luke. I've been meaning to talk about it, but your point of how this film actually does straddle the threshold of modern and pre-modern
hmm
old
Yeah.
Hollywood, because it does. We see a lot of influence, especially those epic battle scenes. Just see a lot
hmm
of that in those 40s and 50s 3 hour epics like Ben-Hur and Ten Commandments. Just the amount of extras alone, like I
hmm
guess
hmm
that was seen and going, oh, we can do this. Um, yeah, because I kind of felt the same. I think we had pretty similar experiences watching it. Is that it did feel old and like maybe 20s, even 10s type of tacky, but it does also have those elements of like this is kind of epic filmmaking. Like you can, that's what I mean. You can appreciate it and see its influence over a
hmm
broad a range of cinema.
And to add on your point, just remembered another reason I kind of didn't jive with some of the battle sequences, not all, but some of them. There is a questionable choice of soundtrack for some of the sequences. Like most of them was like this epic Russian music, which you would expect. Cool. But there are some
Hmm.
that's like that reads like a parody. And I understand
Yeah, yeah.
that wasn't the intention, but there's like some like almost like this happy-go-lucky music where you would play under like the
Mm.
vaudevillian kind of vibe. And I'm like,
Mm.
ah,
Was it kind of
this
like fanfare?
yeah, like
Like,
fanfare kind of like this didn't fit the hey, we're battling these Germans that like wiped this village and burned babies. This felt like, we are LARPing and it's on YouTube. Ha. Yeah, Like I would say like 30% of the battle scenes had like a very questionable music in them. Like the 70% was fine. It was like epic, like yo, comrades, we fight the evil Germans. And the 30 is like, nah, just kidding. Look, just look, we are just hitting each other on a head with the sticks. Nothing is real.
So who did it better, Luke? This or Monty Python and the Holy Grail in terms of LARPing?
Monty Python,
Like it.
baby.
Yeah.
That now that's a cinema.
Oh man. Well, I think this is an impressive film to check out from like a technical standpoint, and that's not a
Mm.
surprise. It's what Sergei Eisenstein is most known for is his incredible filmmaking and montage and stuff like that. But there's not a whole lot of depth to this movie at all. This is
Hmm.
probably as deep as a puddle, but it's cool to look at.
Very cool.
So,
Yeah.
Also, historically, I was gonna bring in this up because obviously, the movie doesn't really have much in it. The battle on the ice apparently happened, but also German records and Russian records of how many Germans were there are not matching up. So Russian records are like, oh, we've defeated about 2,000 Germans. The German record said, no, we had about 300 people there. But I think it's not Russians inflating the numbers to make themselves look better. Apparently, Germans they counted their armies differently, so they didn't see like a subordinates and like almost like slaves as army. I think that was the reason. So to this day, like the battle we saw on ice actually happened. We know, but historians to this day cannot actually agree how many people were on each side. So like the size of each army, like how impressive that battle actually was.
all I know is I'm going to listen to the movies
Hmm. As you should.
because
Yes.
that's what we have. So, well, do either of you have anything else to add about Alexander Nevsky?
No, I don't. No, thank you.
He was a guy with a goatee that inspired a country
Hmm.
and made
Mhm.
they made a very historically inaccurate maybe movie about said guy.
That's
So there you
technically
go.
very well made. Like I think Shane has you nailed it. Like technically, if you want to see a great movie from technical standpoint for 38, definitely watch it. Yes.
Indeed. That's why it's in the Criterion collection.
Hmm.
And if you don't mount you don't mind this looking like, something that was kind of just, well, we hate Germans, but this totally wasn't propaganda. Wink, wink. There you go.
At the time, who didn't hate Germans?
Yeah.
In 1938, apparently the United States didn't hate them that much.
Oh wait, yeah, no.
Yeah.
Hitler had a sold out Madison Square Garden. Yes, in like 36, I think. Yep.
It took America a while to join.
No, America. No,
Yeah.
Hitler historically until Pearl Harbor happened. Hitler
Yes.
was like historically admired in America. That's a fun
Still
fact for
is.
you. That's a fun
Right?
fact for you. Hmm.
I don't think much has changed, has it?
Frickin' fascists.
Yeah.
But as we learned from the White House, Pearl Harbor was very surprising. They should have told us about it.
That's great. That's a good call.
You know, it's so funny and clever making a joke about Pearl Harbor in the year 2026. He's so clever, everybody. So
He is
clever.
very. That's why he
But
became
this is
president, Shane.
but this is not a political podcast at all, despite the fact that we literally just talked about a Russian propaganda film. But as Luke put it, art is influenced by politics and it's created by people who have perspectives. And not every movie is made with a message, but many of them are. And
Hmm.
important to remember that. But next month, we're doing something special for, I think, we haven't done two films on the same episode since the very beginning, back
Yep.
when they were like 20 minutes apiece.
Hmm.
But this is such a big year. We had a tie. And 1939 is considered one of the greatest years in cinema. So we are going to be talking about Stagecoach and The Wizard of Oz.
Yes.
So,
You're a wizard, Dorothy.
well, you're a wizard, Dorothy.
Now I wish that line was in there. Like, oh,
It's just that shot when they show the Ringo Kid, it just comes in and John Wayne standing there is like, well, you're a wizard.
Pilgrim.
You're a wizard, Dorothy. And that is how we're going to combine these two movies. But as always, Adam and Luke, thank you as always for coming on and chat movies with me.
Always a treat, my
And
guys. Pleasure to see you.
exactly. Anytime. Thank you so much for having us again.
And thank all of you for listening. Make sure to like, comment, and share on this episode. And what's your favorite German and favorite Russian film? And why is it from Andrei Tarkovsky? Because that's
Stalker.
definitely mine. I have my Stalker and Solaris and multiple Andrei Rublev and many other Tarkovsky films on my Criterion. So there you go. But
I have my
make sure
stalker, but he lives on a first floor. Oh wait, sorry, we talk about movies. Sorry. Shit.
oh my. I can't make a similar pun with any of the other titles of his movies, so we're just going to move on. But make sure to follow or subscribe wherever you listen to your podcast. The SPDM Crew Podcasting Network is ever expanding. We have so many great shows with all different types of interests. If you love movies, we got plenty of that. And if you're interested in being a guest on one of these shows or have an idea for a podcast, make sure to reach out to us on our website to join the crew. And if you like our logo, that's my buddy Joe. He does some great work. And if you're interested, contact and he can commission something for you. But most importantly, thank you as always for tuning in and supporting the Cinematic Wasteland here on the SPDM Crew Podcasting Network.